Welcome into Georgia High School Sports Daily, powered by IBEW Local 613 from the Breda Pest Management Sports Desk. I'm your host, Landon Knight, alongside Craig Sager, and happy Monday, Craig. I kind of just want to recap this weekend. There's a lot to discuss. So, starting Friday night, we covered the Grayson versus Newton game, and Grayson being the #1 team in the country right now. Clearly, they have such a powerful program. We saw that on Friday night. Just talk to me a little bit about how you feel about their performance.
Yeah, we'll get into it a little later, but what stood out to this game with me is the speed of Grayson's offense, and I'm not just talking about at the skill positions. It was the tempo that they ran in terms of just no huddle the entire time, probably running close to 80 plays in this game, 80 snaps, and just having this constant rotation. They did have some turnovers in this game, a couple fumbles, a couple errant throws by Deuce Smith, but other than that, they just kept the pedal to the floor the entire game, and I was really impressed. And if that offense can continue to play that fast, it is going to be a nightmare to stop. So I was just impressed with Grayson. I think there's Creekside speed, but then Grayson speed, that's the fastest offense I've seen this season.
And we talked about this so much last week, but I do have to touch on Saturday, college football. I did experience the 5 stages of grief on Saturday night and have a little bit of a broken heart today, but I feel like I've come to terms with it, and as a mature adult, need to congratulate Alabama on this win. So, Craig, you played at Georgia. Hopefully we beat Alabama one day, but how did you feel about this game?
It was just a deja vu. So in 2008, when I was a walk-on, we were the #1 team in the country. Alabama came to Athens, and they absolutely beat the heck out of us, dominated. And then from there, really, that's what started this rivalry where they really had our number. What was interesting to me is just I thought the play calling for Alabama was much improved, and as disappointing as some of their results have been, I thought they looked really good. It's just a big win, and they can definitely get up to play the Bulldogs.
Well, on a much happier note, today is our 2nd annual Corky Kell Dave Hunter flag football event that will be held at West Forsyth High School. You can get more information for this on the Score ATL website, but there will be 8 teams, 4 games. There's going to be a lot to look forward to, and if you want tickets to this event, you can either purchase them online or buy them in person at West Forsyth. I know we are looking forward to this event, and we will get to hear from some flag football coaches later on the show today. And then to mention our game of the week this week, we have McEachern versus Harrison, and that will be at Harrison High School this upcoming Friday night. We're really looking forward to that game, so tune in on Friday night for coverage of that game. But for now, let's hop into our fast break headlines. Our first headline, Lee County head football coach Dean Fabrizio has been placed on a leave of absence. So this action follows his arrest early Sunday morning in Albany around 1:03 in the morning. He is facing 3 misdemeanor charges: DUI, possession of an open alcoholic container, and failure to maintain lane. So the school district said they received information about Fabrizio that warranted further investigation, prompting the leave. And in his own statement, Fabrizio admitted that these mistakes were made on his behalf, and he referenced his personal issues that he'll need to address. He expressed regret to the school, the community, and especially the football program, and said assistant coaches are capable of leading in his absence. So, Craig, I just want to ask, it's the middle of the season for Lee County. You know, what type of predicament does this put them in, and how do they adjust losing their head coach?
Well, I thought the way they handled this was actually the right thing to do. And, I mean, I hope Coach Fabrizio is able to come back, but there had to be some accountability. And let's go back to when I was at the University of Georgia. We had some discipline problems where players were going out. So they made it really strict, where we had a curfew, all that. Well, let's just say an assistant coach was out partying or whatever and then got in trouble, and then the coaches just let it slide and there wasn't any accountability. That would break the trust, because if you want, as a coaching staff, your players to behave on the weekend, stay focused on the season, you can't be setting this example. So I feel like it was something where Coach Fabrizio, he's put his heart and soul into this program. There's no doubt Lee County loves him. He loves Lee County. But it's about that accountability. If you want your players to behave on the weekends, to not go to parties, to stay focused on schools, the coaches have to do it too, and he's going to seek guidance, seek his help, and hopefully be back soon.
Moving on to headline 2, Carrollton 4-star DB Dorian Barney has flipped his commitment from Michigan to Ole Miss. So after his visit to Ole Miss this weekend when they defeated LSU, this is when he decided to flip. He originally committed to Michigan on July 5th. He is 6 foot, 170 pounds in recruiting profiles, and in the rival rankings, he's rated number 237 overall and number 24 amongst cornerbacks in the 2026 class. So, Craig, honestly, I've been really impressed with what I've seen from Ole Miss this season. I think that the program's really on the come up, but with what Lane Kiffin is doing recruiting-wise, you know, how do you see this, like, Ole Miss program going in the future, and how do you feel about his flip from Michigan to Ole Miss?
Well, I think Ole Miss just seems like a really fun place to play right now, and Lane Kiffin's style is, I call it almost like a breath of fresh air. He's a great personality on his social media. He seems to have like a lighthearted mindset where he knows his team has a lot of talent. It's like, let's just go out there and see if we can win. He's not really super high intensity. He's more laid back. I feel like that's appealing to a lot of the players. And when you see big wins like we saw this past weekend at Ole Miss, they didn't even have the need to storm the field afterwards. They handled it well. But I just feel like it's a place where Michigan's an awesome school, but being able to play in the SEC, Lane Kiffin, what the Rebels are doing, I feel like it seems like the right time, and they are trying to be that SEC program that's able to break through.
Moving on to headline 3, Langston Hughes 4-star offensive tackle Kelsey Adams has committed to the University of Georgia. So he is ranked number 65 overall in the 2027 class and number 9 at offensive tackle per Rivals rankings. So Georgia beat out a stacked list of offers, including Alabama, Ohio State, Florida, LSU, and others. And one of Adams' cited reasons for choosing the University of Georgia is he stated that he just feels like they put players in the league. He feels like they're able to develop talent at the next level. So I just want to ask, how do you think that playing in Georgia's pro-style offense influenced his decision to commit?
Definitely, and you just look at how some of the players that played in the area have gotten opportunities early. Juan Gaston from Westlake, he said he chose UGA because he feels like it will be a situation that prepares him for the next level. He's a big guy, 6'5", close to 300 pounds. This is a huge commitment for him. He's one of these prospects he's been on the radar, but now that he's committed to the Bulldogs, he's going to receive all this outpouring of love, that big attention the rest of the season at Hughes. I think he's going to be really excited to be there. And after this tough loss UGA had, it's a great sign to see a homegrown player get his commitment.
Moving on to headline 4, Buford 4-star edge Dre Quinn decommits from Clemson. So Quinn has been committed to the Tigers since June, but decided to reevaluate his options due to the increased interest from other programs. The 6'4", 228-pound prospect is ranked as the number 34 edge nationally and number 38 overall in Georgia for the 2026 class. So his decommitment marks a significant loss for the Clemson 2026 recruiting class, which only has one defensive line commit now. So, Craig, clearly we have seen Clemson struggle this season early on. How do you feel that is affecting their recruiting process? Yeah,
I think when you're Clemson, you're not playing in the SEC, and so people choose to play at Clemson because you're going to be competing for a playoff spot, an ACC title. They've had some struggles this year. But this wasn't a flip. He didn't leave Clemson and already have his new destination solidified. So now he's opening up the opportunities. They're there for him. He's playing at Buford. The different recruitments, they're going to be all over the sideline. He'll have plenty of time to make this decision. He's a prospect that's rising up. He's number 34 nationally at the edge rusher position. It's huge, and he'll probably just wait and see where some of these other top names go, and then ultimately make his decision where he's going to be able to play early.
Moving on to our last headline, Benedictine has defeated Ware County. Ware County got their first loss of the season. It was a 30-27 game. So this was one of our pick'em games. I was really excited to see Benedictine get this win. This was both of the teams' first region game. So now Benedictine has secured their first region win, but Craig, I just want to ask, with this being such a big win for Benedictine, how do you see them faring out for the rest of the season?
Very well. I think Benedictine, when you look at Class 4A, they might be the most battle-tested. They've had some huge matchups already. This puts them back above 500, but this region is very talented, and I think there's no doubt that Ware County was the toughest opponent for them. This almost puts them right on the path to be able to get home field, and then making teams come down to Savannah to play, it's going to give them a huge advantage to make that deep run in the playoffs. This is a team that had tons of injuries last season to their quarterback, Cannon. Now he's healthy, and they're able to close games out. In this one, they had some big plays they allowed. I think they allowed a big kickoff return touchdown, but they found a way to come back, get the lead, and then close it out defensively. It was a signature win for Benedictine.
And then, Craig, as we mentioned earlier, our game of the week will be Harrison versus McEachern at Harrison High School. So this is definitely a rival game, a big county matchup. What are you looking forward to in this game?
Well, I think with McEachern, they have a slight size advantage just on the lines of scrimmage, but Harrison does such a good job at just rotating the players, getting a ton of players involved. We talked to their coach earlier. I think they had 10 different receivers get involved in the passing game. I think it's the size advantage versus Harrison's ability to spread the ball around.
Well, we will be right back after this short break with more Georgia High School Sports Daily. Don't go anywhere.
Nobody wants to hear the word roaches, because who wants to admit they have roaches?
I actually found some weird roaches. I didn't know what they were. I decided to choose Breda. I reached out to them. They check in routinely. They're explaining what they're doing, so there's a lot of clarity in the process as well. I think that just speaks to the level of safety that I feel with the organization.
The facts are, roaches are everywhere in our environment. So what are you doing to keep them out of your home?
Breda, Breda, no need to be afraid of bugs.
For a healthier future together, look to Northside Hospital.
This makes my dad proud. He went through his whole career as an employee. Now I'm the employer, something he didn't achieve.
We are signatory to IBEW and do IBEW people wherever we go that we feel like they are faster and better than any of our competition.
The advantages of being a signatory contractor is you're trained employees. You have unlimited manpower. It allows me to bid on jobs that I ordinarily would not go after.
Man, you know how to do this? Man, I don't even know. I was flipping burgers last week.
Violation, unsportsmanlike conduct, impersonating a craftsman.
Skilled trade unions are well-trained career pros, not part-timers. Construction is a rewarding and lucrative career with advancement potential, but you have to do it the right way with the right training. Learn how you can be a pro. Find your career at GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com.
You may know Tidal Wave Auto Spa as the world's greatest car wash, but did you know Tidal Wave also has the easiest fundraiser? So easy, our mascots think they can do anything, like making the big play on the big stage. Okay, maybe just a dream, but it is a super easy fundraiser. Just sell wash tickets and watch the money come in. If your flag football team, school, church, or group needs funds, go to TidalWaveAutospa.com and get started today.
Georgia's Rome is the place to be this season. Visit our vibrant downtown. Enjoy live concerts, attend street festivals, and see Wings Over Northwest Georgia Air Show. Plus, you can enjoy a haunted tour or two and these upcoming events. Make your weekend getaway one to remember. Plan your fun now at roamgeorgia.org.
Georgia High School Sports Daily is brought to you by the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 613. Electrify your career. And by Breda Pest Management. They handle bugs and critters.
Welcome back to Georgia High School Sports Daily. We are at the Breda Pest Management Sports Desk, and now we will welcome Jake Bergdorf, the McEachern Flag Football head coach. Coach, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
So your season officially kicks off today in the Dave Hunter Flag Football Classic. How do you replace players like Chelsea and Joku at the quarterback position?
Yeah, it's tough replacing someone like Chelsea, but we feel really good about our new starting quarterback, Ava George. And, we replaced quite a few key contributors last year that graduated, but we feel really good about our group now. A lot of them got playing time last year, and, they've really stepped into a new role, a starting role, and we're just excited to see how we can compete tonight.
And then, Coach, your school also has a middle school flag football program. So I just want to ask, how does this help develop players for the high school level?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's tremendous allowing them to play in the middle school level. Just them coming up to us and just knowing the basics of our offense and defense is huge. It saves a lot of time. We don't have to teach the basics. We obviously will, but it gives us a good starting point. And they've been really competitive at the middle school level as well.
And then, Coach, I also just wanted to ask, so a lot of awareness has been brought to flag football in the offseason. So just talk to us a little bit about how you have seen this sport grow.
Yeah, I mean, we're just over 300 schools now in Georgia competing. I would imagine we're going to end up playing in regions pretty soon, just like every other sport that's currently playing. And so it's been great. It's huge. The girls absolutely love it. Those that give it a chance. And I'm just excited to continue to watch it grow at the high school level and the college level as well.
Then, Coach, I want to ask you about your defense. Last year, that was a huge part of your success, being able to have a perfect season, win the state title. Who are some of the players we'll be watching for tonight to step up?
Yeah, so Elias Summers, she'll be playing. She'll rush for us. She'll play linebacker. Alira Maybeth will play linebacker for us. Both of those are returners. Ava Cousins starts at safety for us. She starts both ways. She's a heck of a player. ZJ Torgano will be a new corner for us. She's a senior, so we're excited to see how she competes and what she can accomplish, as well as a returner at cornerback and Gabby Suarez, along with Amaya Jackson, that will take cornerback reps as well.
And, Coach, you mentioned Ava Cousins. She'll be a junior. She was a big receiver last year. You got Desiree Holly. A lot of the production from that passing attack. Do you feel like the receiver is going to be a strength early on in the season?
Yeah, we played a lot of games this summer. We played just over 30 games this past summer. So we feel really good about what we can do really well and some things that we needed to improve upon leaving the summer. But, we throw the ball pretty much every play. So, we're looking for our receivers to have another big night tonight and a big season as well.
And then what did you see just in the last scrimmages, just ahead of the season, after a big offseason work, just in that game atmosphere?
Yeah, it was great to step on the field against Roswell and Creekview, just to get our feet wet again. We're still missing a few players at other sports, but we feel really good about, the girls that will be there with us tonight competing. We just have to be consistent. Pulling flags, throwing and catching the football. And if we can be consistent, I feel really good about, how the season will go for us.
And then just talk about playing Pace Academy. You had them on the schedule last year, very talented program. What does their style present just with this opportunity to have a big opponent?
Absolutely. Yeah, we love playing great teams. Ty Johnson does a great job at Pace Academy. She does every year. She has great players, has a great scheme. She does a good job preparing them. So we're just excited really to see where we're at, to measure ourselves with this new team that we have this year. And we love to play as many good teams throughout the season as we possibly can. We just want to challenge ourselves each and every day, and a team like Pace Academy will do that.
And then, Coach, you held tryouts for your team in September, so we were just curious, how many girls came out to try out?
Yeah, we had just shy of 100 this year. We most of our girls came out in May, and we did a final tryout in September. But combined with May and September was just shy of 100, and it's just awesome to see the growth and the amount of girls that are interested in the sport. And we wish we could keep all 100, but that's just not possible.
And Coach, talk just about the growth this season, the new divisions, and maybe the new landscape you guys will be competing in.
Yeah, there's some really good teams that, are now with us in Division 5. Pope and Allatoona, Lithia Springs, we're all moved up along with Woodstock and Sequoia. Those are big names that make deep runs in the playoffs every year. And we've got our work cut out for us, but we're excited really just to see what we can do this year. And, each and every year this game grows, so does the talent. Every single team has more and more athletes come out every year. The scheme gets better. The girls understand how to play it more effectively and more efficient. And so as it continues to grow, it gets harder and harder and harder to win games. And so we really, we appreciate the challenge and we take it head on.
And then, Coach, I know we touched on this a little bit, but I just want to ask, where do you see this sport going at the collegiate level?
Yeah, absolutely. It will get to the Division I level. Nobody really knows the timeline or when, but with it growing so fast at the high school level, it will continue to do so. Now we've got a conference in Division II that has their own. Division III, NAIA obviously is the biggest currently in college, but it will continue to grow at the Division I, and I'm excited to see where that goes as well. It just gives the girls more opportunities.
And Coach, talk a little bit more about Ava Cousins, just what you've seen from her since coming out to play the sport, how she's kind of grasped these different positions and become a leader.
Yeah, Ava Cousins really does everything for us. She'll play quarterback, she'll play receiver, she'll play double quarterback, she'll play center on offense. She can play every position on defense. She can play linebacker, safety, wherever you need her. She's just one of those girls who it's just natural instincts from playing basketball her entire life. When the ball's in the air defensively, a lot of times she comes down with it or she's able to break up the pass. She's one of those kids that you just can't replace, and she's got the it factor. And so she plays a huge role on our team, offense and defensively. And, every single year she started for us since her freshman year. So now with her being a junior, we're just excited to see how much better she can get. And with obviously this year and next year underneath her belt, she's a special player, though.
And then, Coach, can you just speak to the leadership that you've seen from your entire senior class in the offseason?
Yeah, so, we challenge our seniors, really whomever, to step up and be vocal leaders, and not just always leading by example, but being able to go about things in the right way. And, when a teammate's not doing what they need to be doing. And we've seen more of that from Aaliyah Maybeth on the defensive side of the ball and Zoe Moriarty on the offensive side of the ball. And so we continue to challenge day in and day out for people to step up and to help push us, because we're always trying to work through complacency, never want to get there. And we need people, leaders outside of the coaches, helping push us in the right direction.
And then, Coach, what does it mean just tonight being able to play on TV and get some exposure for this team?
Absolutely. It's great. The girls look forward to it every year. I mean, hopefully we play on TV more than once this year, and we're playing again in December. But it's just great for the girls. College coaches can scout from their home, and it gives them an opportunity that they may not have had if they weren't playing flag to be able to play on TV.
Well, again, that was Jake Bergdorf, the head coach at McEachern. Coach, thank you for joining us today, and we are looking forward to seeing your team play tonight.
Thank you.
We will be right back after this short break with more Georgia High School Sports Daily. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Georgia High School Sports Daily. We are at the Breda Pest Management Sports Desk, and now we're going to take a look at our updated football rankings. Guys, last week was week 7. Now we're in week 8. It is hard to believe that we are halfway through the season.
Yeah, and we've gotten to see a lot. I think the rankings have reflected just who's playing the best right now, and I did have a new number 1 this week. We'll get to it later on.
Okay, let's hop into these rankings, starting with the 6A classification. So, Craig, I just want to ask, what is it going to take for North Gwinnett to move above Douglas County?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think North Gwinnett might be the hottest team right now in this poll. They lost their season opener to Douglas County. They haven't lost since. They've had some big wins, whether it's the Colquitt County win, the Mill Creek victory. They dominated Berkmar this last week, but because Douglas County beat them earlier, I'm still going to have Douglas County slightly above them. What was interesting about this week, we had a lot of fall breaks. Only 5 of the teams actually played. But the other big takeaway has to be what the South Georgia teams did this week. You see number 7 Lowndes, number 8 Valdosta. Lowndes had a huge victory this week over Colquitt County, 31-14, and then Valdosta playing Camden County 63-19. So I feel like those two teams, not only did they come away with victories this week in the region openers, they looked very impressive.
Well, Craig, I wanted to ask, after these games, do you feel like Lowndes and Valdosta have solidified their spot in your top 10?
Oh, for sure. And I think heading into this week, in the composite, I was the only one that didn't have Camden or Colquitt ranked. There were a lot of questions I had about this region, but overall, I was just impressed. I feel like I made the right decision.
Moving into our 5A classification. So, Hayden, Lee County dropped. I just want to ask, what went into this decision?
Well, it's multiple things. This is their second loss of the season. They lost to a really good Thomas County Central team, but they let Thomas County Central score a lot early, then came back and then just couldn't keep up. And now with Dean Fabrizio no longer being the head coach, at least for the rest of the season, there's a lot of questions about this Lee County team. So that dropped them. They're still extremely talented, but they're at 10 right now. Other team that moved up, Jackson County, Northgate, Roswell, Sequoia. Those teams are really good teams, but on paper, Lee County should be better, but there's so many questions, and they haven't lived up to that potential so far this year, so Lee County's at 10. And then the top 5 is the top 5. That seems like those 5 are really good teams. Any one of them can win the state championship.
Let's take a look at our 4A classification. So we touched on this earlier, but I want to talk again about this Benedictine win over Ware County. So Ware County went into this game 5-0, but this was the first region game that they had seen. How big of a win is this for Benedictine?
It's big. I thought Ware County this year looked much improved even from last year, which they're still a great team. So what I did after this result, Benedictine getting the win over Ware County, I just swapped places. I didn't want to move the polls around too much, but I felt like the win was big enough to reward Benedictine, put in them number 4. That's how much respect I have for Ware County. And then in terms of the rest of this poll, Marist had a huge win over Southwest DeKalb. Southwest DeKalb had just dominated St. Pius the week before. I felt like this was probably the biggest win Marist has had so far. Cambridge had a huge win over East Coweta, and then Cass, they have a win over North Cobb on the resume this year, and the big match of this week is going to be number 3 Cartersville against number 10 Cass. That is certainly a game that could shake things up. And real quick with Blessed Trinity, they went down on the road to Savannah Christian without DJ Jacobs. He will be back next week, but that's without their best defensive player, and they got the win in overtime. That would have been 3 straight losses for this BT team had they not found a way to win. I thought that was a huge victory. And even though it was a close game and it wasn't maybe as dominant as they thought it would be, still a big victory, and that's why they held their spot.
Let's take a look at our 3A classification. So, Hayden, Stephenson dropped to number 9. I just want to hear your thoughts on this. And then also, you took Cherokee Bluff out. What went into this decision?
So, looking at Stephenson, they lost to North Clayton. It's their first loss of the season. It's not a bad loss. I put North Clayton into the rankings. They've been playing good football. This is a really talented North Clayton team that hasn't put together in years past. It seems like they're finally putting it together. But they have a loss to West Lawrence, and those 3 teams had to drop Stephenson below North Clayton, and West Lawrence had to be above that North Clayton team. Then Cherokee Bluff. I get that Oconee County got their starting quarterback, Brody Hanna, back. He's been dealing with, I believe, some vertigo issues over the entire start of the season. But the way they lost that game, the defense just couldn't hold. They gave up multiple touchdowns in the final 3 minutes of that game to lose that game. They were almost able to pull it out in the end, but just second loss of the season to an Oconee County team that we haven't seen play great offensively, and they gave up 28 points to that Oconee County team. I think I need to see more from them and them be more consistent to be in my top 10.
Let's look at our 2A classification. So, Craig, I just want to ask, out of these teams, which team do you feel has been the most battle-tested and seen the toughest schedule this season?
Well, I think Callaway and Cook are both very battle-tested. They've played a lot of outstanding South Georgia teams. Callaway, of course, is in the Corky Kell Dave Hunter Classic. But Carver Atlanta, to me, this is a big matchup against Hapeville Charter. This is a very tough region they play in. They'll have some other big ones against Leavitt coming forward, but this was a game where I knew it was going to be close, but it was the way Carver Atlanta won. They're just playing such disciplined football right now. They had a 14-0 lead throughout much of the contest. They ended up giving up one touchdown, but it was a very solid 14-7 win. They played with a lot of confidence, and so I didn't have to really change anything. Hapeville didn't drop out because of it. It wasn't a terrible loss, and I mean, the question is still going to be Carver Columbus, number one. They've looked pretty much unbeatable, but Pierce County's playing well. I really like what I've seen with Callaway. Cook is a team that can rise up and compete with any of these opponents. And then Rockmart, just one loss this season to Cartersville. I think they're very dangerous also.
Let's look at our D1 classification. So Dublin dropped after losing, and Jasper is in the rankings for the first time. Hayden, why did you put Jasper in your rankings?
Jasper's undefeated. You know, at some point, if you just keep winning games, it doesn't matter who they're against. You're a top 10 team. They're undefeated. They're playing good football. Dublin lost a game to Northeast. They were kind of dominated in that game. I wasn't expecting that, so they dropped 3 spots to 8. And then Temple dropped out of these rankings. Temple I thought was a really good team. They've lost 2 straight region play. They have to do more to be in these rankings.
And then let's look at Division II. So ECI has also made their debut in the rankings. Why did they make the rankings this week?
So Maryland County Institute, they're traditionally a really good team. They had 2 tough losses to start this season, but they were able to be a good Metter team this past week. They deserve to be here. They're a really good football team.
And then lastly, let's look at our A to 3A. So Craig, Hebron Christian is now at your number 1 spot. How did they claim this number 1 spot this week?
Yeah, well, every single team in this top 10 has had a loss this season, but Hebron's loss was to McCauley, Tennessee. Not a bad loss at all, and they've had some huge victories. And then Prince Avenue Christian, they definitely stumbled this last week in the loss to Hart County. I didn't want to punish them too much. I think Hart County is a solid team, but that could be a game where it's the best thing to happen to this Prince Avenue Christian team. They're going to have to respond. They're going to play Hebron later on this season, but certainly a concerning loss, but I want to give them the benefit of the doubt. I only moved them down 1 spot, but congrats to Hebron. They have taken over number 1.
We will be right back after this short break to hear from Clark Nixon, Milton flag football coach. Don't go anywhere.
Customer service is everything in our industry, and one thing our clients love is when they call Breda, they get a live representative. At Breda, you get the attention you need and deserve right when you call in. Your appointment gets scheduled right then and there, and you get a specific time, no window of arrival. Our staff are your neighbors. They know what's going on in your community, and they're invested in doing it better.
Breda, Breda, no need to be afraid of bugs.
Dang, where you get this car?
You need to join the union.
The union?
Absolutely. You can get 10 of these.
Union construction workers earn the highest wages with the best benefits and the most protection in the construction industry. Find your career in construction. Go to GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com and start your future today.
A journeyman with Local 85, when you turn out, you can be hitting 6 figures.
Hey, I have your back, you have my back. We're gonna do this together. We're one for all for one.
College just wasn't for me. Let's look into actual career jobs that wouldn't take college, where I wouldn't, lose money and all that. Instead of losing a lot more money at the end, why not make money and make more money at the end?
You may know Tidal Wave Auto Spa as the world's greatest car wash, but did you know Tidal Wave also has the easiest fundraiser? So easy, our mascots think they can do anything, like making the big play on the big stage. Okay, maybe just a dream, but it is a super easy fundraiser. Just sell wash tickets and watch the money come in. If your flag football team, school, church, or group needs funds, go to TidalWaveAutospa.com and get started today.
What happens after you graduate? Will you go to the next level? Will people have your back in the heat of battle? Will you still train like a champion in the pursuit of greatness? You will when you become an IBEW electrical worker. Join our team. Visit IBEW613.org.
Welcome back to Georgia High School Sports Daily. We are at the Breda Pest Management Sports Desk, and now we will welcome Coach Clark Nixon, the Milton Flag football head coach. We have him in studio today, and we are super excited to have him. Coach, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, hey, thank you for the opportunity to talk about our sport and the program.
And so, Coach, I just want to ask, you have Audrey Jensen at quarterback. How have you seen her grow in the offseason?
Well, yeah, I mean, it all started, we had an opportunity to go out to San Diego and participate in the She's Baller Classic. It was, took a team of senior and juniors, top players from the state, and she was asked to go out there and had a fantastic showing. I mean, we were playing against top talent from California, Arizona, Mexico, Washington, and Florida, and she really embraced that, and she's just nonstop been growing since she came out to try out last year as a junior.
And then, Coach, I just want to ask you, your team scrimmaged against Mountain View. How impressed were you with the performance you saw out of it?
Well, yeah, I mean, this team is very bought into our culture, concepts, expectations. They're veterans. I mean, last year when we had a really good season, ended up losing the Final Four to Pope, they were pretty much all juniors. We ended up losing a couple of seniors, but the majority of the players are back, and we added a couple of new girls to the team that are also very athletic. And yeah, I mean, we've been putting in a ton of work. I mean, we've been going, preseason started in August. They were working out, and then when we started the last couple of weeks, and we do a ton of stuff over the summer. And so not surprised at how efficient we were offensively and defensively, but not surprised in the outcome based off the group of girls that we have this year.
And then you were talking about last season, a great year for you. You guys ended up falling short to Pope. What was an area that you guys as a team wanted to improve upon or really focus on? Yeah, so that's a great question. I mean, really for us, really is our mental fortitude. My assistant coach, Kelly Bendel, who's been with me now for 4 years, she is super experienced in this, and we've been really from the get-go, especially in the preseason, having team meetings and really just focusing on that. And I couldn't thank her enough for that. And I feel like as we continue to grow, we can with the experiences that we're gonna continue to have based on playing good competition, that if we can work on that mental fortitude when things get difficult and able to how to handle the adversity, then we'll have a much better chance this year to get past that Final Four. Yeah, and this is such a tough matchup for, both the teams. Harris County, we know how good they are. This will be the first time you guys have ever faced them. How does this matchup kind of set the tone for not only tonight, but the rest of the season? Yeah, our goal in non-region is to play as much great competition as possible. Again, we use the non-region to prepare us for region. Talking about Harris County, they have a couple of outstanding players. Obviously cricket is the first thing when you think about Harris County. You think about cricket. Got to coach her this summer out in San Diego, so got to really get to know her well. She's outstanding athlete, competitor, and so we're excited to have the opportunity not to be a part of this Corky Kell and to play a great program like Harris County to start the season.
And then, Coach, I just want to ask about Caroline Marshall. Just talk to us a little bit about what she brings to your team.
Oh, gosh, Caroline Marshall, what an outstanding athlete. Not only is she great at flag football, she was right from the get-go her freshman year before she ended up breaking her foot. She was probably one of the top receivers in the state 2 years ago. Comes back last year off of that injury and doesn't miss a beat, right? She's an outstanding athlete. She's really started to come out of her shell a little bit, and she's just so reliable. And she also just committed to Clemson for lacrosse. So she's a multi-sport athlete, and so we're just really, really excited to have her part of the team.
And then players like Alana Calhoun, what are you looking forward to seeing out of her this season?
Oh, what is there not? What is there not to look forward to? You're talking probably one of the best safeties in the state, led the state last year in interceptions. Receiving touchdowns, big time for us, receiver. Really fortunate to have a player of Alana's level. When you think of top players in the state, like Alana should be a part of that conversation. Yeah, just super excited. I want this season to slow down because this will be it for her with her being her senior year.
And then this is a really busy opening week for you guys. Some of the other teams participating, they'll play tonight, then they'll have a couple weeks off. But it looks like you guys have 6 games in the next week.
Yeah, so we front load our schedule because as we get later into the season, I have a lot of lacrosse girls that play and on the team, and they have a lot going on with their club programs in November. Go to a tournament pretty much every weekend in November, and so we really don't want dead legs going into that, especially when it's our region schedule, right? And of course, in my region, probably the top 2 teams in Division 4 right now, Blessed Trinity, right? So, we try to front load it just so that we can still get the games that we need to grow. But yeah, a lot of our schedule is early to mid-October.
And then, Coach, you've talked a lot about having lacrosse players on your team. So with this athleticism on your team, how does this make you more competitive?
Well, yeah, I mean, when we think about flag football with it being a new sport, I mean, really the biggest thing I talk to parents and to other people about is just have your child be an athlete, right? Like we'll teach them, we'll grow. It's a great time to get into our sport because as it's still in the process of growing and building its way up through the college ranks, right? And so having all these athletes just allow us to do more on offense and defense, knowing that we are so athletic.
And then you were talking about coaching cricket. That's Madeline. What's your last name?
Colley, yes, sir. Yes,
right.
sir.
The quarterback of Harris County. So you're familiar with her. You're talking about just what a just outstanding competitor she is. What's that going to be like? Just going up against a player that you've had the privilege to work with.
I mean, it's a huge honor. I mean, that program has had so much success because of cricket. I mean, I would think if you polled pretty much all the coaches in the state, they would probably say she's the #1 quarterback in the state, right? And so that's a great challenge for us right from the get-go, right? And like I said, she's the ultimate competitor. I mean, she cares so much for her team, gives it 100% every play, and so yeah, we're just excited for the opportunity.
And then offensively, what have you guys worked on? Just getting some of the other players involved. You know how good the receivers are, but maybe some new players.
Yeah, so I mean, one person I need to talk about, Kylie Parsons. She's been with us for 4 years now. She'll be slot receiver. She had a breakout year last year, I think, with close to 700-800 yards receiving and 10 touchdowns. She's a staple of the program. Talking about kind of like our culture and our focus and our growth, I mean, I can't tell you how much she has benefited from that, from starting freshman year all the way now up to her senior year. There's a couple other girls that joined us this year that's not. Braylon Swanik, she just committed to Notre Dame for lacrosse. She'll be a slot receiver, outside linebacker for us. I mean, she's outstanding, super athletic. If you have a chance to go watch highlights from our scrimmage, she had a really big catch in that. Jessie DeGroot's another one. She'll be outside linebacker / up back for us. She's just committed to Ohio State for lacrosse. Amelia White is a junior at Milton who also plays lacrosse. She'll play a lot of safety, cornerback for us. Can't forget Aaliyah Holmes too. Aaliyah Holmes actually went out to San Diego with me, so her and Alana are deciding where they're going to go play in college for flag. But yeah, I mean, I could talk forever. I mean, this is a great group.
And then defensively, who are you looking to step up tonight?
So yeah, last year we lost our senior rusher who had a really good season for us, and so we've kind of now putting it all together with a couple of girls at that position. I mean, Juliana Suarez will start tonight. She's a junior, runs track. Emery Van Gelder is a freshman who came out. Didn't know where she came from. Started this summer, put in a lot of work, got to play in a lot of our tournaments over the summer. And then Keljan McCants. So all 3 of them are going to help defensively at rushing. I mean, my outside linebackers, like I said, Ava Thompson. She's actually a Stanford commit for lacrosse. She'll be my middle linebacker. Outstanding field general, has been in the program for 3 years. Just super excited to have her back. Last year she was bugged by injuries, and so she didn't get to contribute as much. And then obviously I'll have Jessie and Braylon at outside linebacker, and so we're excited that we position athletes all over the field.
Well, again, that was Clark Nixon, Milton Flag football head coach. Coach, thank you so much for joining us today, and good luck to your team tonight.
Hey, thank you so much for the opportunity.
We will be right back after this short break with more Georgia High School Sports Daily. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Georgia High School Sports Daily, powered by IBEW Local 613. We are at the Breda Pest Management Sports Desk, and now we're going to take a look at some of these scores from around the state from this past Thursday and Friday night. So we're going to be throwing up some of these scores now. We have Central Carrollton and Jonesboro. Central Carrollton was able to come out with a win 24-21. Creekside shut out MLK. Caden Benson's the quarterback here. This is a big win for them. Flowery Branch and East Forsyth 38-19, and Jackson County and Alcovey 59-6. So Hayden, I just want to ask, what surprised you about these scores? Talk to us a little bit about these games, the Flowery Branch game. Just what surprised you?
So I'm going to shout my Falcons as a Flowery Branch grad. It's great, having a great season so far. Congratulations to Michael Perry and that team. I was a little surprised, not surprised, but that Central Carroll-Jonesboro game was a great game. It came down to the wire, and it was a game-winning field goal that allowed them to win that game. It's a huge win. Then Jackson County got the win over Alcovey. That's not a huge win, but it's a huge result in that they're now 2 or 3-0 in region play, and they are the front runners to win that region for the first time ever.
Yeah, I mean, Jonesboro is a tough opponent, and credit Jake Davis, 47-yard game-winning field goal. Doesn't get much better than that. Solid victory for them. In terms of the other results, I feel like Creekside, you'd expect them to dominate that matchup, and anytime a team you expect to win is able to win with that margin, it's a good sign. Jackson County's having a great year, and East Forsyth is a very tough opponent also. I think Flowery Branch has certainly had one of its better seasons in recent memory.
Let's take a look at some more scores. Now we will have our game of the week, Grayson versus Newton. So, guys, going into this game, I will say, I know we expected Grayson to win, but I feel like we all could agree that we expected a better performance out of Newton. They have a lot of depth at their running back position, so it was a little underwhelming, but how do you see Newton faring out the rest of the season?
Yeah, well, they had no answers offensively against that Grayson defense, and then obviously they had trouble stopping the Grayson offense, but the inability for them to complete passes, not force these third and longs, and then they probably punted 20 times that game, and they had a bunch of them blocked. It was a sloppy game, but I just think Grayson was that good, and it's scary because that might have been the toughest opponent on Grayson's remaining schedule. I think they looked like the #1 team, and anyone that watched that game with Deuce Smith in at quarterback, he doesn't look like a backup. He's running the offense very well. He's connecting on the deep balls. I think he had 5 touchdowns to 4 different receivers. This Grayson offense, as impressive as it was, I think it can still improve.
Yeah, I mean, Deuce Smith missed 1 or 2 deep balls in that game. That he makes this game even more lopsided or is over even sooner. It's a really interesting matchup. I think Newton, their pass game is what I was disappointed in. The run game, they just couldn't run the ball because they were trying to run against stacked boxes. So, I think they have to make some movement in the passing game, but I think they can. I think they can make a second or third round appearance.
Yeah, so when I looked at this Grayson schedule, I also just want to mention, Craig, I noticed, I was like, now Grayson, they're really on the downhill swing, so we're definitely looking forward to seeing how they do the rest of this season. But now let's take a look at some more scores. We've been talking about this South Georgia football starting, and here you have it. Valdosta defeats Camden County 63-19. Noonan and Hughes. Hughes was able to shut Noonan out. Lee County and Thomas County Central. Thomas County Central was able to come out with the win, 35-21. And Stockbridge and Jones County, close game, very competitive game, but Jones County was able to come out with the win, 46-42, guys. But talk to us a little bit about this Valdosta-Camden County matchup.
Yeah, I'll just say one thing on that. The stat that stands out, Valdosta scored touchdowns on its first 9 possessions of the game. Doesn't get more dominant than that. A huge way for them to open region play.
Yeah, I think when you look at this Valdosta team, how much they scored is really impressive. This is a team that last year was mainly a run-first offense, and now they're putting up 63 against a good Camden County team. Most places have them ranked. And then the other games you look at here, I'm really surprised that Jones County was able to come out with this win. Stockbridge was the team that we kind of expect to win that region this year. They already have 2 region losses, and really it's up for grabs. Ola, Jones County, Stockbridge, any team can come up with that region.
Let's take a look at some more scores. Now we have Blessed Trinity and Savannah Christian. I just want to start with this one. So Blessed Trinity, clearly they had 2 losses to Milton and Hebron Christian, played on the road at Savannah Christian, went into overtime, but they were able to capitalize and come out with this win. So how does this just kind of help their momentum going into this week? I believe they face Kell on Friday.
Yeah, this is much needed. And when we watched the Hebron game, Blessed Trinity fell behind, really couldn't complete the comeback. They were down 22-7 in this game. So not only is that 2 touchdowns, it's the 2-point conversion also. They were able to force overtime at 29-29. Savannah Christian settled for a field goal, and then they got a quarterback sneak to win it. It was a huge victory for them, and they did it without DJ Jacobs.
Yeah, I think what's most impressive is the amount of points they scored. Defense, you don't like them giving up 32 points, but they were able to score points, which they haven't been able to in recent weeks with the quarterback situation. I think this is a good step forward. It's going to be interesting to see what they can do against Kell this week.
And now let's take a look at one last set of scores. We have North Hall and Pickens. North Hall was able to shut out Pickens 38-0. Brookwood and Parkview. Parkview lost this matchup 32-20. Mill Creek and Central Gwinnett 45-6. And Marist and Southwest DeKalb 31-7. So just touch a little bit on this Brookwood-Parkview matchup.
Yeah, it's a huge rivalry game. It was much needed for Brookwood. They've had some tough losses this season, but they handled business, had a comfortable lead, and they were able to close it out. Be big momentum for them going forward.
Yeah, these are the 2 South Gwinnett traditional powers, really good teams. Brookwood was able to come away with the win. I'm really excited to see what they can do moving forward.
And then last one, I just want to ask the Marist and Southwest DeKalb. This is clearly a huge win for Marist as well. Were you surprised by this game?
I wasn't surprised by it. I think this is what Marist is known for. They're known for kind of playing suffocating defense and putting up points when they probably shouldn't.
Yeah.
Well, we will be right back here tomorrow with more Georgia High School Sports Daily. Stay tuned.